Hello and welcome to another edition of our daily devotion. Today we're going to go back to a Boyd Bailey devotion from his book, and this one is called Wise Listener, How to Be a Wise Listener. It starts with Exodus 18:19 and 24. It says 19a and 24. When you hear that, that means it's using a portion, the first portion of the verse instead of the entirety of it. Quote, "Listen now to me, and I will give you some advice, and may God be with you." Moses listened to his father-in-law and did everything that he said. The setting for this is that Moses was very, very stressed by all the needs of the people, and he did not have time to do everything in his day that he needed to do. And God used his father-in-law to come up with some very simple wisdom on how to conduct his affairs. And if you have never read about this in Exodus chapter 18, please do so. It's an extremely great illustration of how God uses so many different ways to speak to us. Here's what Bailey says. God sends people your way who offer great advice. Therefore, listen intently. You never know who may be speaking on behalf of God. These may be people you trust or even distrust. But either way, do not allow pride to stand in your way of listening to what they say. Wisdom can come from the most unlikely sources. Therefore, listen with discernment. Job learned that not listening could lead to loss. See Job 36:12. Do not be a non-thinking listener. Wise listening involves a functioning brain. The intent of wise listening is to separate the quote-unquote wheat from the chaff. For example, you may be laboring away unnecessarily in stress and anxiety. Your stress may be self-inflicted. You may need a better system for processing the needs of the people. You may also be trapped in the never-ending cycle of busyness. Your life and your organization are more complex than even 6 months ago. You need a better process for handling issues and complaints. People are starting to grumble. You are weary and they are frustrated. Does this sound familiar? The most obvious adjustment may be to involve others in helping you serve the people or the enterprise more effectively. Take the time to recruit and train others. This takes time and trust. But if you do not start today preparing for tomorrow, you will wear out or even burn out. If this choking point is not remedied, you could lose your credibility. People will choose to go somewhere else, and you will lose your influence. Do not try to talk your way out of your responsibilities, but rather listen to those who are offering you advice and prayerfully consider their counsel. This may be the optimum time for you to let go and trust others. Listen to what other proven leaders have to say and obey or follow their lead. So who in your life is currently offering you advice and counsel? Is it your wife, your husband, your father, your father-in-law, your mother or mother-in-law, your boss, employees, friends, family? Are you truly listening? Or are you just going through the motions and not really adjusting or modifying your behavior? There is a very good chance that the methods that you have employed up to now will not propel you into the future. This time of uncertainty may be a good time to evaluate the basics of life and work. What is the purpose? What do you do best? What is your capacity? Do you value quality over quantity? Do relationships have priority over tasks? What is your motive? This honest self-evaluation, coupled with the counsel of others, will help take you to the next level of living. Proverbs 1:5 states it well, saying, "Let the wise listen and add to their learning, and let the discerning get guidance." Above all else, listen for the Lord's voice in the various voices that vie for your attention. And if it's God speaking, obey it. This is the way the Lord works. He works through speaking to us wisdom through others. In the New Testament church, it says he gives some a word of wisdom and some a word of knowledge. This is gifts, and God does supply your need with other members of the community, not just Christians. He can give wise advice through non-Christians too. Even your children, he may speak to you. I have in my past, in my raising of my children, had God speak to me directly through them, and I knew it was him, and he was giving me great advice, and I took it. That's the most important thing about advice. You got to take it. Hey, God bless you. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.